I cashed out my $290,000 401k for someone who called me her soulmate. I worked 30 years at that factory. My daughter begged me to stop. I didn't listen. Now I have nothing saved for retirement at 55. 30 years of factory work, gone. I paid $45,000 in penalties and taxes for early withdrawal. The phone number is disconnected now. She promised we'd retire together. I never saw her face once. My daughter tried to stop me. She showed me articles about romance scams. I told her she didn't understand our love. I hung up on her. That was the last time she called. I should have listened. I met her 3 months after my divorce. She was an architect overseas, beautiful, intelligent, attentive. She said I was the kindest man she'd ever met. I believed every word. The loneliness made me desperate. The first request was small. $5,000 for a stolen wallet. Then $10,000 for her mother's surgery. Then the construction project needed funds. Each request made sense. She always promised repayment. That wasn't the last request. After a year, I'd sent $70,000. I started with my savings account. Then I took a loan from my 401k. Then I stopped kidding myself and cashed it all out. My daughter visited me at the factory. She cried in the parking lot, begging me to stop sending money. I was so defensive, so sure she was wrong. I didn't see the pattern she was trying to show me. I stopped answering my daughter's calls. I didn't want to hear the truth. The scammer became my only comfort. She texted me good morning and good night every single day. She filled the emptiness. She said she'd be with me in 3 months. Then 6. Then a year. Each deadline passed with a new emergency. I didn't question why her problems never got solved. I was too invested to see clearly. The final request was $50,000 for her release from a business contract. She said once this was done, she'd fly here and we'd never be apart. I believed her because I had to. Then silence. No more good morning texts. No more good night calls. Her profile disappeared. The number was disconnected. I called 100 times, sent messages into a void that never answered back. I drove to my daughter's house. I told her everything. $290,000, gone. She didn't yell. She just cried and said, "Dad, I tried to tell you." Her disappointment crushed me. The FBI agent told me recovery was unlikely. The money was overseas, converted to cryptocurrency, impossible to trace. I'd lost everything, and there was nothing anyone could do to help me get it back. I met Michael at a retirement planning workshop I was too ashamed to attend. He'd been scammed too. $50,000, gone. He understood my shame and didn't judge me. I needed that more than anything. Michael helped me calculate my new retirement timeline. At 55, I need to work another 12 to 15 years. I'd never retire early. The numbers were brutal, but having a plan gave me something I'd lost: hope. I went back to work at the factory. Same job, same shift, 30 years in, and I'd be working another 15. The irony crushed me. But every paycheck was a step toward rebuilding what I'd destroyed. My daughter started calling me again. Just once a week at first, then more. She didn't mention the money or the scam. She just wanted to know I was okay. Her forgiveness was the first real healing. Michael introduced me to other scam survivors. Some lost more than me. One woman lost her entire inheritance. Hearing their stories made me feel less alone. We'd all been targeted by professionals who studied loneliness. I started a small automatic deposit into a new retirement account. $200 a month. It wasn't much, but watching it grow, even slowly, felt like reclaiming control over my future. I shared my story at a scam awareness event. Speaking my shame out loud took away its power. A woman came up afterward and thanked me. She'd almost sent money to someone online. I saved her from my mistake. Michael told me recovery starts with forgiveness. Not forgiving her, but forgiving myself. I'd made a terrible decision, but I wasn't a terrible person. I was lonely and desperate for love. I started volunteering at a retirement planning center. Helping other seniors avoid the same mistake I made became my mission. Each person I saved felt like paying back a debt I couldn't afford. 1 year after the scam, I'd saved $5,000. It was tiny compared to what I'd lost, but every dollar represented a choice to rebuild instead of give up. Progress is progress. I learned to spot the warning signs: urgent emergencies, overseas locations, refusal to video chat. I started teaching my coworkers what to look for. None of them had heard of romance scams. I changed that. My daughter invited me to her apartment for Thanksgiving. She'd set a place for me next to her. The tears came before I even sat down. She was giving me back my place in her life. 2 years after the scam, I'd saved $20,000. Not enough for retirement, but enough to give me hope. Michael said I was on track to retire at 68 instead of 67. 1 extra year. I started a new relationship, real this time. A woman from my church, widow, no emergencies, no money requests. We take walks and talk about our grandchildren. That's what real love looks like. I told my daughter I was dating someone real. She cried with relief. She said, "Dad, this is all I ever wanted for you." I realized she'd been protecting me all along, not trying to control me. I became a certified scam awareness educator through Michael's program. 55 years old, starting a new career. Not what I planned at this age, but maybe better than I'd ever imagined. I still look at my retirement statement and feel pain. But now I also feel pride in how far I've come. I'll never get back what I lost, but I'm building something new from the ashes. The man who cashed out his 401k for love learned that real love doesn't cost money. Real love doesn't come with emergencies or urgent deadlines. Real love feels peaceful, not desperate. I speak at senior centers now. I tell them my story so they won't make my mistake. Some of them cry. Some of them thank me. Every single time, I heal a little more. My daughter got engaged. She asked me to walk her down the aisle. I said yes, and I meant it. I'd be there for her, present and honest, not hiding in shame anymore. I walk my daughter down the aisle in a suit I could finally afford. She smiles at me and whispers, "I'm so proud of you, Dad." Those words mean more than any retirement account ever could. 3 years after the scam, I'd saved $50,000. Not nearly enough for retirement, but enough to know I was on the right path. I'd be working until I'm 70. That's my new normal. I still work at the factory. Same job, same shift. But now I see it differently. Every hour I work is a repayment to myself. I'm buying back my future, one paycheck at a time. I finally understand why I was vulnerable. It wasn't stupidity. It was loneliness. I'd been divorced, empty, desperate for connection. The scammer didn't take advantage of my stupidity. She took advantage of my heart. I'm starting over at 55. It's terrifying and hopeful at the same time. I lost my retirement, but found my family again. That's not a bad trade. I'll be okay. I'm already building something better.